This is probably Granados' most extroverted piece written in a brilliant Lisztian tradition, almost. And at the same time, there are moments where the subjects are more lyrical, more hushed, when the mood changes, and those are in the minority in this piece. So it happens when the first theme comes in, and it never gets repeated, does it? So very special. And then also on the last page, also it becomes more introspective. But otherwise, it's very extroverted rather, brilliant piece. So I think that you are doing what you're supposed to do. It sounds very confident. But you can sometimes highlight those moments when you have, for example, this theme. Just in terms of sound, in terms of the energy level, and sometimes balance too. You can make it more brilliant certain times. What did you want to say? Did you want to say something?
No. I thought I was going to say something, so no.
The opening sequence of arpeggios was very fine. Again, when you have something rising, you can start perhaps a little bit less so that you have more room to grow and be more flashy at the top. So why don't we hear the opening? Nice contrast. When you do this, make sure we hear the tops a little bit. And even in a soft just the fingertips. A little bit less. More effective if you grade them in terms of touch and also in terms of freedom of motion, right? You can start your crescendo in a more hesitant manner, both in terms of level of sound and in terms of starting this motion towards the top. A little slower, give yourself a little bit more room. And you just did that. I thought it was freer this time. Now, when you have this theme, balance the textures a little bit more. Have melody up and a little bit less. To create more cushion between the voices. Nice. Okay. And also try to be a little bit more fluid and more continuous with that phrase. Don't worry about the nitty-gritty things in the middle. Just let it flow. Very nice. So when you need to expand, you expand. But otherwise, try to feel it more in 2 rather than in 4. Keep the momentum going. it should not feel like you're struggling or dragging, you know, your feet through it. Don't do that. Let it flow. And then also a wonderful modulation from G sharp minor to G major. And I think you did it really well. Let's hear it one more time. Just give us a few measures around here. Yeah. Beautiful. So what we want is maybe to delay the tonic and to make it kind of sounding a little more distant. One more time, one measure before. Yes, something like that. Try it a couple of bars before. See, it should be a surprise, so don't retard too much into it. That should be on a completely different level. It just soars upwards, and it becomes very extroverted, very rhetorical, if you will, right? And that was beautiful. So the first one is a little bit more hesitant. The second time, different. But the most important thing, that moment has to be more glorious. If you could capture that. And then highlight the tops throughout. I felt it was a little bit understated.
So the first time should be a little hesitant and quiet. Okay, and then the second time is more
gaining momentum,
lively.
gradually gaining momentum, right. Keep going, keep going. Very nice. So you have to imagine yourself as Franz Liszt playing, you know, just to dazzle. Make sure that the tops are very brilliant, and there is a drive and a sense of direction, all that. And it was I think, much freer this time. It's very important. Another important moment here, right? When we get to the next section. Let's hear that. So, during those few measures, what happens?
I feel like it starts out like mysterious, and then it grows.
So it's a transitional passage, a bridge, which returns us to the figuration we're familiar with. And this figuration sort of binds the piece together in a way. So try to be as free as possible, explore the polyphonic texture. You have outer voices going the opposite direction, and also the fact that it's poco andantino rubato, so you can start from less, more uncertainty, and then build up through this. gracefully, a little bit more gently, not knowing where you are. Arrive here, so you save the most energy with that chord. So even when you start, and that's an important color change, right? Again, give it a little more time. A lot of it sounds like you're still improvising. There's no clear-cut phrase structure. It's in a way you're trying to create a mood, capture something. So the first one. Give it a little more time and make sure we hear that chord, the E flat, in piano and soft dynamics. Let's hear it. Right. Oh. That's nice. And so on. Let's skip around. So we have a series of arpeggios that followed by this new ostinato figure in bass. What is the structure of this piece?
Transition, right?
In general?
Structure?
Structure. You have to think of it. There is some resemblance to the sonata form, but it's not very obvious. It's kind of hidden in a way. And certainly, you know, you should know how you want to build this piece, where the climax is, how you go to that climax, what are the in-between moments, how you want to highlight those, and things like that. Very important.
So that part.
Well, we only have a couple of minutes.
Okay.
Let's do the next section. What you're doing, it's marked forte, but you're changing it to piano. I think according to the score, it arrives at fortissimo and it goes to forte and then followed by piano. But I think the point is, as long as you can keep things logical, one thing getting into the next and leading up to it, if you can make things a little bit more cohesive, especially in this middle section, which has a lot of developmental material, a lot of improvisatory passages, changes of keys, fragments. If you could make it all connected and related to each other, I think you can still work on that.